Today you'll learn conversational habits that make people dislike you and what to do instead. See if you can figure out the first one from the end of this clip.
How can a company with 13 billion in revenues make 1.4 trillion of spend commitments? And you've heard the criticism,
First
Sam.
of all, we're doing well more revenue than that. Second of all, Brad, if you want to sell your shares, I'll find you a buyer. Enough.
Did you catch it? It's assuming intentions. The defensiveness on Sam's part was unnecessary because he made the assumption that the interviewer was trying to trap him. Now, the first time you find yourself getting defensive, give the other person the benefit of the doubt to begin with and assume that they mean well. Because if somebody truly has a bad intention in conversation, they will reveal it afterwards on their own. Now, the goal of this video is not to put anybody down. These are just out of context clips that we can all use to learn. Moving on, the next habit is fixation. We see an example of this from an Anupam Kher interview.
और मेरा जो अगला सवाल है वो इस पॉडकास्ट का फ्यूचर डिसाइड करेगा कि ये पॉडकास्ट आगे बढ़ने वाला है या नहीं. आपने तन्वी द ग्रेट देखी है?
I'm watching it next.
So ये बंद करो भाई दुकान इनकी.
Now at this point, if he'd just said I was joking and moved on, that would have been fine. But unfortunately, this grilling around not having watched his movie kept going on and on.
But this picture तो रिलीज हुए 20 दिन हो गए.
हाँ नहीं sir, but like मेरी
I am not making it into I will not answer this question because you will not know what my reference point is.
But
You have not read the book that I wrote. You have not read the thing that you wrote. So what you are doing is, you are doing your job without wanting to sort of say that मैंने ये नहीं किया, but you still want answers from me.
A version of this happens in arguments where one person gets so triggered by one thing that you forget entirely what the entire point of the conversation was. When you find yourself getting triggered and fixating on one thing, it is okay to ask for a break. The only caveat when you do this is to make it explicit that you need space instead of just walking away or abruptly cutting the phone. There is a great scene in How I Met Your Mother that shows how to do this well.
If you're having these kind of doubts now, what's going to change in 3 months? Maybe we just shouldn't get married at all.
Maybe not. Pause.
The next habit is ungrounded speaking. If you feel exhausted when you're speaking or your mouth suddenly goes dry, you are likely not using your entire voice. There are 3 vocal registers, which is where we all speak from: your chest, your nose, and your throat. For an extreme example of the vocal register you should not use, watch this clip.
If I were 22 right now and graduating college, I would feel like the luckiest kid in all of history.
Why?
Because there's never been a more amazing time to go create something totally new, to go invent something, to start a company, whatever it is.
That is called a vocal fry, and most people don't speak like this. But if you are on the quieter side, you are likely speaking from your throat. Now, speaking from your throat will exhaust you because you will find it hard to speak clearly and you will also start fumbling. But when you learn how to speak from your chest, you will automatically find that you have a more powerful voice and people even take you more seriously. I know this because I've worked with clients who predominantly use their throat to speak, and when they start speaking from their chest, they almost instantly notice a difference in the confidence they're able to project using their voice. So if you want to learn how to speak with your chest, I've made a short free confident speaking guide that you can download from the description box below. The next habit is isolating interference. This is where you join in a conversation, but you change the subject of a conversation.
when you take on certain roles, do they change you?
I think it gives you confidence.
So I really want to know, this film of yours that you did with Kareena,
In a group setting, there is a tendency to talk over each other, and that's totally fine. But it is incredibly frustrating to listen to someone that will not let you complete a topic. Watch here as Farhan Akhtar was going to talk about history.
I would love to go to Chile, Peru, all those places. The Central American countries, I am fascinated with history here.
How far are you from achieving वो goal?
So I'm saying that right now is my... when you're speaking about your short-term goals के बारे में
short term goal is how far are you? What do you think? It's going to take you year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years?
Now, because of that, he did not ever get to finish that thought. If you have this tendency, take one breath before you start speaking. That will give the other person time to finish their thought, and then you can join in the conversation. Active listeners are masters of knowing when to speak and when to interrupt without derailing the conversation. Watch an example of that here.
Like I was deserting myself if I felt good about myself, which is crazy. I'd almost feel like I was leaving. I don't know. Yeah, it's almost like I know those feelings.
No, finish that thought. I'm believing what?
Well, it's almost like I feel like I know those feelings of...
Even though he did interrupt, he didn't make the conversation about himself. Now that we've gone over what not to do, if you want to learn the conversational habits that will make you a captivating speaker, watch this video.